No Socks. We're here with Luke Bosnick, the mastermind behind Saffron Moore, Sabrina Limhow.
With our lovely guest, Sherry. Dom Brinkley with us today.
Cami Cole.
Hello, glad to be here.
What's crack-a-lackin'? We're No Socks. I'm your host, Katie. This is Pat.
Hi.
And it's episode 14. And joining us, blah, 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 we have Honest Dan.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be here in this slightly chilly house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you like a blanket?
Ooh, I feel like that would make this very cozy, but
It could have been arranged.
I think I'll be fine.
Cute.
So I guess I think we want to kind of sort of mention this straight off the bat, but you reached out to us and we are so glad because you're our first, I guess, guest that we didn't kind of just ask, would you like to come on our show? So thank you for being on the podcast today.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah. And I guess No Socks had a bit of a journey for this. How was your journey here though?
Journey like in general or journey today?
Today? It could be about your life, but
today was pretty good. I just drove here in my recently serviced Nissan Cube that cost me too much money to service, which was very upsetting.
It looked nice.
Yeah, they cleaned it. They cleaned it.
They cleaned it for you.
Yes. So I feel slightly less salty about paying as much money as I did. And also now I'm not going to die driving it unless it's like my fault doing something dumb.
Oh,
so.
But touch wood.
Yes. I'm constantly resting.
Mm-hmm.
Resting. Yep.
But
yeah, it was a good. It was a fine. It was a fine drive. It was a fine drive. I was singing some songs, and yeah.
What kind of songs were you singing?
I put together a playlist of songs that I like that are kind of like a vocal workout for me. Sort of singers that have a similar range to me, or maybe like a bit outside. To kind of like sing along to and warm up a bit. And
you like listening to those singles that you release on Spotify? Your range is it a tenor?
I think I'm a tenor, yeah.
With a couple of, I think right, is it right time, right people, wrong time that has like a couple of lower notes though.
I can get a little bit low. I'm not as low as some singers that I know, but I think, most comfortably I'm like in that tenor range where it sounds really nasal. That's the peak Dan.
Peak Dan.
Peak Dan.
Peak Dan pie. Like pecan.
Ooh.
I resent saying that.
Yeah, no, that was good. I like that.
Oh. Okay.
That was if this whole podcast can be puns, let's just go.
Okay. I was waiting for you, Pat. Contribute.
I can't think of anything else in my head. I guess, we're talking a little bit before this podcast started rolling, but you're actually from Sydney, but you're living currently in Melbourne at the moment. Yeah. And what's it like, I guess, because, No Socks is kind of about, the Melbourne music scene, but it's always nice to, have guests who've, kind of experienced other scenes before.
Yeah.
So, what's your experience been like compared to Sydney?
So
I'm not saying it properly. Sydney. Sydney. All right.
Sydney. I found, in between all the various lockdowns and such, I found the Melbourne music scene to be much easier to get into and like do gigs in compared to the Sydney music scene. Around the time when I was in Sydney, I moved here in 2019. so just before we kind of like had lockdowns and stuff. But when I was in Sydney in like a band there, it was sort of right when I started getting into like playing live music. That was when the whole like lockout laws thing came into effect in Sydney.
Oh yeah,
and it killed a lot of venues. It was pretty upsetting. And so it was a real like uphill battle a lot of the time to try and get any gigs anywhere. And a lot of the time we ended up having to like put the money out like up front to actually do anything and then like hope we would maybe make it back. Whereas in Melbourne, there's so many places where you can just play a gig and they'll just pay you a cut of the bar, like takings, and you don't have to worry about anything. It's much nicer now. I think like Sydney's definitely gotten better from what I've heard. It has improved a lot. Sort of when the lockout law things were like relaxed around 2016 or 17. And there was like some good venues there, but yeah, I found Melbourne to just be a lot easier.
Yeah. Is that like going to Melbourne, was that one of your main reasons to like come down here or?
Yeah. So I was like in a band in Sydney and that band kind of broke up. There's a whole story there.
We have the time.
Yeah. The short version is like I was dating this girl and I was living with bandmates in like this house that we had specifically for doing music stuff. Like it had
like a band house?
A band house. It had like a rumpus room that we had as like a studio. It was awesome.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry. Yep.
Gesundheit.
Dankeschön.
Yeah, so it was like, we'd had this house. I was dating this girl and that girl and I broke up and I got home after that. And the singer and I were kind of like cleaning some things in the band room, like putting cables away and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, how'd your date go?" And I was like, "Oh, not great." And he was like, "Damn, I was hoping it would have gone better because I don't want to be in the band anymore." And then he was like, "Yeah, and because of that, we don't want to rent this house anymore because it's too expensive." And so it was like a triple whammy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Breakup, like relationship breakup, band breakup, and house breakup.
Oh my God.
The house like sucked for what it's worth. Like there were some nice things about it, but there were a lot of things that were wrong and annoying. And the like landlord didn't exist. We could never get hold of them, and the real estate agent could never get hold of them. So moving out of that house was for the better. And so I wanted to just like after that, I hadn't really been putting much effort in when I was in that band. I was kind of just hoping for it to like happen. And so it was a bit of a like catalyst for me to like try and do more. Yeah. And so, I wanted to like move here because at the time I had a job where I had like, there was an office in Sydney and in Melbourne. So I was able to just move to Melbourne without worrying about a job.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I moved here, started doing Honest Dan stuff rather than my old band stuff. Some of those songs have crept into the Honest Dan repertoire. That's kind of the story.
Better they have life with you now than to just wither away into the past.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I hope I'm not. Did you have a particular question?
No, just.
Yeah. Well, how did you get into music in the first place? I guess that's the part people start talking. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I probably should have said, how has your journey been to music in the first place?
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. I used to kind of like, I didn't like hate music, but my mum would like always like play guitar and sing songs and try and like get everyone to join in. And I found it really, really annoying.
Okay.
But now I think that definitely like instilled something in me to be a bit more like musically minded. And my dad was really into like a lot of like classic rock bands and things like that. And so I kind of started wanting to learn how to play guitar when I was really into like metal when I was a teenager. Learned probably like half of Metallica's repertoire. I couldn't play like any of them now because my guitar skills have just declined in that department.
I feel you too.
Yeah. It's hard. Metal's like technically very, very like demanding.
Yeah.
Even songs like that aren't like that complicated musically, they're just really fast.
A lot of stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those I don't know. I think the the perception of metal's changed. Like it's changing. It's like this is like now it's I think before it was like it's just all screaming. It's just distortion, so you can't hear any notes very well. So it doesn't matter how well they play. But now it's like we've gone to like this like new wave of prog metal. And it's like no, you need to hear every note that you played, and it's like the technicality is like kind of in your face in some ways. But it's Do you like kind of like that new wave of metal?
I like appreciate it. I don't really listen to it that much as like a leisure activity. But there's some songs or like some bands I'll listen to and just think like, wow, how do they even do that?
What was your progression like from learning all of Metallica's?
Half Metallica,
How did you get from there to? How did it evolve?
Yeah, so I was like taking guitar lessons, and my guitar teacher was kind of pushing me in some different directions, like trying to learn some blues and some like jazz things. And not that I'm like amazing at either of those either.
It's probably stuck with kind of your music now that you're releasing. Kind of, it's definitely closer to that than thrash.
Yeah, very much so. I feel like there's still a bit of metal influence in there. Like my music is very like riff driven a lot of the time.
Listening to it,
But so I kind of was like trying to learn some more of those things, and I really got into like electronic music towards like the end of high school, and was like massively into Daft Punk. And I have a whole other side project that I do very like occasionally. That's an electronic music thing.
The Ethernet Man.
Yeah, that's the one. And so I'll still like kind of write some of those songs every now and then. And I've done some very rare gigs with that project. But I kind of like then I went to uni to do music after I was like fully prepared to do software engineering in high school, and then like decided at the last minute that I wanted to do music instead because I like was much more passionate about that. And so I grew up in Canberra and then moved to Sydney to go to uni to do music there. Went to JMC Academy, and they kind of like take you through a lot of different styles of music. So did some blues things and some funk, and like tried my hand at some prog guitar, which I was very bad at. But I tried.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. So that kind of then like the band I was in Sydney, Trouble Cruise, formed at uni, and that kind of developed my like musical style a bit more into the direction it is now. I was just playing guitar in that band and doing some of the songwriting. So that's kind of how it all coalesced, I guess.
When did you start writing songs?
I think in like 2012 maybe. So when I was 18. The first like song I ever wrote was a song for the Ethernet Man like project. And it was about like trying to think exactly what it was. So it was called 1241, which was like the time that our lunch bell was at the high school that I went to.
Okay.
That sounds
niche.
All right.
And then like years later realized that there was a Strokes song called 1251, which is actually about like nighttime, which is way cooler than the lunchtime, the very like specific lunchtime bell.
I mean, but is it though? Is it that much cooler?
Yeah, that's probably not the best song on that album. It's a good album, but I think like Reptilia is probably better than that song.
Okay, full disclosure, I only just like I didn't really know the Strokes that much, and then I think a couple weeks ago I was playing Guitar Hero at like an arcade, and then I just like was like, have you been to the I guess it used to be called Galactic Circus for I guess older Melburnians.
Oh my God.
And then it was called Playtime now, I think. And it's just like they have like a Guitar Hero there. It's like the song choices though, not good. And then like Reptilia was like one of the only ones that like my sister's like, like probably that one I'd probably try playing, like, because the rest of them were just like not great. They're not really. It's like it's a bit boomer, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Come on now.
No, there's some good ones like Paranoid and stuff, but like yeah, so like Reptilia is the first time I'm like, this is a pretty cool song. Sorry, random tangent, but I'm like, the Strokes, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that was the first song that I wrote. And the only lyric in it was 1241.
Oh, really?
It was like a full on like electro house weird thing.
Oh, did you have like a one of those build ups, and then it's 1241?
Yep.
And then the drop comes.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of like that. If it's a bit beautiful, it's like, oh my God, we're having to do all this work. Lunch bell celebration.
Yeah. Do you get like sounds as well, like of just like students? Is like just the sound of like students chatting after that 1241 bell hits?
No, I was not that creative at the time. I think like the drum sounds though I used on that were like, I was like hitting like some rubber pad on my little like launch pad thing. I was just hitting that with like a drumstick, and then that was my like kick drum, and I kind of pitched it down, and then the snare drum was like a bag that had a donut in it. That still had like I was just like, oh, there's a paper bag on my desk with a donut in it. This will make a good snare sound because it's like kind of crunchy sounding because it's paper.
Okay.
So it's sort of vaguely lunch themed.
But did you eat the donut afterwards?
Yes. Yeah.
What's just in it? Like you're just shaking it, so it would just been really.
No, I just hit the bag with a drumstick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Niche.
Yeah.
What's your unusual
supplies? Unusual drum sounds.
How long did you continue in that direction of, smacking donuts, basically? What was your second lyric if the first was 1241?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you which songs I wrote like after that. I wrote like a whole album for that and then kind of scrapped it later on. There was a song there kind of inspired by my brother, how he was like, he just said like offhandedly one time that he was like, yeah, like, you know how when people say that they like imagine things in their head as like they can hear themselves talking in their head when they're like thinking through something. He was like, yeah, I just don't really get that. Like I never think anything. And then I wrote a whole song like based on that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This like very existential concept, possibly some like, I'm trying to think what that is. It's not like aphantasia because that's the one where you can't visualize in your head.
I was going to mention that. Like,
yeah.
Do you have aphantasia? Aphantasia?
No.
Like,
no.
Oh, I have a very vivid imagination sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, is it like almost like photo vivid? Like you
no,
could just,
probably
like,
not that vivid.
You close your eyes and you're like, I can make out of
like see the purple apples.
Yeah.
And or sometimes, so I can see a purple apple, and then I might imagine someone like running and jumping over this apple, and the apple is like, it's like Eureka Skydeck toll,
That's a very vivid imagination.
I can't imagine life without being able to imagine a gigantic purple apple.
But do you see that? Like, can you actually sort of see that when you close your eyes?
Yeah.
I can see it right now. That's why my eyes glaze over sometimes, because I'm looking at my mind.
I mean, you can.
You do know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard as well. Like, I was thinking about this. But yeah, it's like, I definitely have. Some people actually find that easier or something. Like, you can imagine stuff and like visualize things when your eyes are open, as opposed to when it's just pitch dark eyelids.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
Anyway,
a bit of
tangent.
Weird tangent. Yeah.
I guess though, since you were DIYing your snare sounds and stuff, you do a lot of DIY work at home for musical instruments.
Yeah. Not like a massive amount, but I maintain all my guitars myself, including like some relatively advanced things. Like I have this guitar that I bought off someone on Facebook for like $80, and then I spent like $800 in parts on it to make it like a really good guitar. So like replace the neck and the like bridge. I had to like re-drill a bunch of holes for that, which was really annoying.
So like parts, it's like a parts caster at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
It just had this really nice artwork on it, and I was like, I want to make this guitar actually like sound as good as it looks. I hope I got there. Yeah. And yeah, I guess in terms of like other DIY stuff, like I all the production I do for my things myself. And I'll do like lots of weird things sometimes, like, well, maybe not that weird. Like for this, like some of the songs I've been working on, I spent a whole day recording claps and just clapping for like 5 songs.
Oh, wow.
Just to have this like consistent, backbeat, like clapping on the snare.
Wow. Okay.
And my hands were very sore afterwards, understandably, because I recorded like 10 different layers of clapping.
Oh my God.
So it sounded like I had friends, basically. That was
Wow.
yeah.
Next time, just, put a post out to Melbourne musicians.
True.
Hey, I need some friends to come clap with me.
I need hands. No context. Just I need hands.
I need your hands.
In all caps.
Just the hands, not them.
Yeah. Yep.
Just get a hands clap machine.
Yep.
Signed, severed, delivered.
What is there anything that like? How did that like sort of DIY ethos kind of come about?
I don't know really. I've always enjoyed like kind of tinkering with stuff. Not that I'm like amazing at it, but like with the Ethernet Man project, there's like a whole robot outfit that I wear for that because I'm silly. And I built that all from scratch. I'm
yet to see this, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's been through a whole like evolution as well. There was a really sloppily put together initial one, and then it's just gradually gotten better. I haven't made any major changes to it since like 2016.
So is it kind of like Tobey Maguire?
I was gonna say, like, is it like an Iron Man like suit, pretty much?
Like
it just gets better each time.
Not quite that intense.
But
it's like there's like a whole like mask kind of arrangement, and then some fancy clothes.
a bit like, I mean, would you say
Sort of like Daft Punk?
Yeah, I was thinking of
Daft Punk
yeah.
inspired, but like if Daft Punk
just
was like
robotic.
in a hellhole junkyard.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Grungy Daft Punk.
Grungy Daft.
I mean, on the topic of grunge, actually, that's Understand's your solo project, and then you've got your electro synth-based Ethernet Man project. You're also in a band at the moment that does synth grunge.
Yeah. So I'm in 2 other bands.
Okay.
The sort of synthy grungy band, Merle Blanc. They are, kind of hard to pin down stylistically. Kind of the like pop sensibilities of beach house and like kind of melancholy in some ways, but then also like very loud and aggressive at other times. I'm terrible at like comparing bands to other bands, but that's a fun band. And sort of grungy, I guess. Grunge adjacent.
Grunge, yeah. Because I'm like, the moment you put synths in, I'm like, how's that going to sound?
Crunchy.
So like
Crunchy.
sawtooth. Is that the word?
Sawtooth?
It's like It's this
Yeah.
type of wave.
Jagged.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Just edgy.
Yes.
It sounds
All
crunchy.
synonyms.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Crunchy.
Chonky.
Chunky. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chonky. Okay. So that's one of the bands.
Yes.
The other band, what's that one like?
So the other band, Cyclone Mavis, that one is like kind of like pop and folk-ish music, but with a bit of a punk attitude in terms of how we write songs and like keeping it very simple. Yeah, similar to, I think, like maybe Courtney Barnett in some aspects, or
Yeah.
Cool.
Parquet Courts in other ways at times. Yeah, they're also a very fun band for like a completely different reason. When I'm in being in multiple projects, I try and make what I'm doing in them very different to kind of keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So even though like I'm primarily playing guitar for my solo stuff, although I won't be playing guitar for the performance today, it's all synthesizer and key things.
Cool.
Yeah, with Cyclone Mavis, my like approach to playing guitar in that is completely different to my approach to playing guitar in the Honest Dan stuff. And then I do have like synth stuff and key things within the Honest Dan songs as well. And I play keys in Merle Blanc, and my approach in that again is like different to how I'm doing things with Honest Dan and with the Ethernet Man stuff as well. So
Now the question I'm going to have to ask is how do you manage to keep on track, like on top of all these projects? 'Cause I do like 3 projects and I'm just I sink under. Like I have to focus on one at a time. Otherwise nothing gets done.
So I kind of do like divide my focus with them. I find that with like Honest Dan, I'll just kind of do that in the middle of things with the other bands because that's all on my own time, whereas the other ones are like other people's time. So I can't really like mess them around.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very much just a like Honest Dan is the thing that I put all of my primary focus and energy into. And then Cyclone Mavis is very much like a democratic kind of band arrangement where everyone kind of has a say in what happens, and so we'll all contribute ideas and things will kind of come together in that way. But I'm not like the primary organizer of things in that band.
And
so and then it's sort of similar with Merle Blanc, but that one's a bit more kind of like the vision of the singer of that band, which is like closer to kind of what I am doing with the Honest Dan stuff, in that I'll record it all myself, and then when I've done one gig, but in doing gigs I'll have a band and we'll just kind of play it as they're written. And it's similar with Merle Blanc, but I'm now one of the band members rather than the songwriters.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd just be arranging your own parts, but you wouldn't necessarily be contributing to like much of the songwriting.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of the parts, even it'll be like the singer, Angelina, she'll have like written a rough idea of what she wants the keyboard part to be, and then I'll just kind of interpret that in a way that makes sense to how I play. Or
Cool.
Handy.
And then Ethernet Man is just emerges when the moon is blue and all the planets are aligned. Very, very rarely. Kind of just when I feel like I have something to do with that, or I want to break from other projects.
All right.
Heck.
Yeah.
Cool. How has it been, carving out your own little space as Honest Dan?
It's been interesting. I feel like in some ways it's very easy to get caught up in like, I need to do these things for Instagram and I need to post whatever on Facebook, and I should do like a YouTube video, and kind of get into that like mindset of like, this is where all of my following will be. But that stressed me out a lot.
Yeah.
And so I kind of pulled it back a bit and was like, I'm just going to do things that I want to do and try and focus a bit more on like doing things locally within Melbourne.
Yeah.
Which is why I reached out to this podcast.
Thank you again.
And like trying to get some more gigs happening and doing things in that way, because it's I have this kind of philosophy that like if the music is good and I put more than zero effort into marketing it in any capacity, then people who like what I'm writing will eventually find it.
Yeah.
All right.
And all I kind of really want out of music is to just have like the same impact on like one person that bands that I really like have had on me.
Yeah.
And also maybe to like get some money.
Yeah, that would be nice.
More than zero money.
Yeah.
More than $0.
Yeah.
Or 0.00 whatever.
Yeah. Whatever Daniel Ek decides to give me instead of spending it on drone AI or whatever he's spent his $100 million on recently. Yeah.
What kind of bands, like what, I guess artists that you kind of, because you just said, the
bands that inspired
bands that inspired you.
Yeah.
What ones, did you give like a name for any of them?
Yeah. I think like in terms of musical ethos, there's probably not that much similarity to my music itself, but like I'm a really big fan of Bon Iver.
Okay, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just adore everything that they do. And
I'm not a true fan. I've only listened to like the first 2 albums.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Oh, it gets so weird after that.
I'm not
and
as caught up
so
with the
good.
latest one.
Yeah.
But the way, especially when 22 a Million, when that came out, like you need the right sound system.
Yeah,
I think to
yeah.
really like take it in.
You need
be at most on boards.
high fidelity audio to hear the low fidelity recordings. Like it's a real experience, that album.
Beautiful lyricism.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, something that I kind of take from him, like Justin Vernon, is I really like how he just makes up words sometimes that are like kind of transformations of existing words that aren't real, and I try and incorporate that into my lyrics occasionally. If I feel like there's a word that I want to use that doesn't have like the right amount of syllables, I'll just like add some extra bit onto the end of the word.
Yeah.
But it's like, it kind of works to whatever it is. Like,
Yeah,
it just adds like an extra.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like at least according to my spell check, the word Libran does not exist.
Libran.
Libran, as in to have the qualities of a Libra.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm an astrology person, but
Oh, that Libra.
Yeah.
For some reason,
But-
I don't know why, but my mind
Librarian.
went to a zebra. My mind went to a zebra for some reason. Like I was like zebra. I'm
I was
like
also
zebra.
thinking
Like,
of like
an
animal.
animal,
Yeah.
but
Like a lion
Libra.
or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 Like you know how in Napoleon Dynamite, the liger.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
an existing. That's
That's
an
a real
actual
thing,
thing.
though. Yeah.
It's when you like do a crop, like you, I
Wait.
guess, mate a lion and a tiger together.
Yeah.
It's infertile, but like
Yep.
that exists. A liger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, as you were saying,
Besides eugenics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I find that approach to lyricism very inspiring. Other artists I find have like influenced me in perhaps formative ways. Gautier, really into that. I wasn't so much into his first 2 albums, but then the third one, Making Mirrors, which is he released the best album ever, and then just decided like I can't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere from here.
I don't know his stuff too well, but I have been enlightened that he's so much more than the one song everyone knows him for.
Yeah.
And
even that song though is like
Two songs
so
people
deep.
know him
so good.
for, though,
Like
I think.
yeah.
There's two, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Heart's a Mess.
Yeah, that one. And then somebody
that I used to know. Yeah. Both of those songs are just like amazing from a production standpoint and like a songwriting standpoint. They're really, really deep.
It's pretty interesting because like somebody that I used to know, like it's like it sounds very like it's deceptively very simple, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like even just think about the second verse, like, and when Kimbra is used, just like not used, is like it's beautiful. It's like here's your spaghetti, and you put on the most beautiful garnish. I just love it. Very intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue that.
Yeah, no, I mean that song as well, like that's on my playlist, the previously mentioned playlist of songs to like
vocal workout.
My vocal workout. That song is a workout. I cannot belt as high as he can belt. He has got an insanely good range, like in that high and like really strong tone in that high register. But even like all of the harmonies in that song, like towards the end, are so nice. Like, I feel like everyone got really fatigued by it when it became massive. Yeah. But it's...
Yeah, I definitely experienced that. Like thinking, like I'm like it. I definitely got fatigued from listening to it.
But I listened to it again, like maybe like a month ago. It was on the radio, and I was like, every time I listen to it again, like years on, I feel something more each time, or I'm like, this is a really great song. Like no matter how much it was, played quite a lot, but it definitely stands its ground. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It sounds like that album doesn't really sound like it's from 2011. It's like almost timeless in a way, I think, because the like audio aesthetic of it, he's used a lot of samples and some like vintage sounding gear, but then also there's like very modern production techniques on some songs.
I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, there's a whole like little documentary of like making some of the songs that you can, where he like goes into detail on some of the things, and it's pretty fascinating.
It's even better.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
So Bon Iver got you. Anyone else?
I think as well, one of my big, more recent inspirations is the Japanese House, this like UK
Heard a few things.
kind of like electro pop artist.
Japanese House.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
They
Not to be
opened-
confused with Japanese Wallpaper or Japanese Breakfast.
Oh,
Not
maybe
Terrace
I'm
House.
getting it
Yeah.
mixed up then.
So many random Japanese things to name your band after.
Japanese House. Okay.
I feel like someone should just like be really on the nose and just start a band and call them the Japanese Band. Like,
Maybe. Why not?
yeah. But yeah, they're like really, really interesting from like a like melodic and songwriting perspective. Lots of cool textures as well, and also just like heaps of songs similar to what I appreciate in like Bon Iver as an artist that just aren't, they're like pop songs, but they're also not structured like pop songs, or they are. There's like a verse and a chorus, but what those verses and choruses are just so weird.
They're not conventional in the same way.
Yeah.
Like they've got some sort of easy listening element to it to make it sound like a pop song. Is that?
Yeah. Or it's like, it's very simple melodically and there's nothing too complicated going on like lyrically either. It's just structured. It's like arranged very weirdly. Like there's this really nice song. The first time I heard it, it just like blew my mind. By the Japanese House called Pools to Bathe In, and it's got this like acoustic guitar kind of repeating riff in the verse, and there's really like reverby overlapping vocals for like the verse, and then it just like has this full on really deep bass drop, and like everything else cuts out, and it's not like it goes into like some kind of house banger or anything. But it's just like a really deep, rich bass sound, and there's like a sample of like a dog barking. It's so weird.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I would highly recommend listening to it.
The Japanese house.
Yeah. And then they did like a whole album a few years ago that was just like front to back so good. Really like catchy, well put together. They're a really, really amazing guitarist as well, that artist. And had some influence on me in that way.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Recommendations. It's good.
Yeah. And one thing that I've just been thinking about this whole time, and, you know, on the way here, and I guess since you reached out to us, your name, Honest Dan. Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to call yourself that?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I said like it's a really deep, crazy story. It's not that deep or crazy. The old band I was in Sydney, Trouble Cruise, we had a song called Model Honest Man, and in our band chat, our like Facebook group chat, we all had nicknames based on songs in the band.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And except one of them was just Dad.
Oh. Why not?
Yeah. And so my nickname in that band chat was Model Honest Dan, because like my name's Aiden, but Dan is technically part of that name.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yep.
Yep.
And as we were discussing before the podcast, more like Aiden, more Dan than a Daniel would be.
Yeah, Aiden.
Rather than a Dan.
Eminem will just like, I don't know, word bend it, like vowel bend it till it becomes
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
Puzzled me.
Aiden.
Dan.
And so when I was like trying to think of things to name my solo project, I really like, I don't know why, but the name Dan stuck in my head. I think because I was like, I really like Our First Science as well. And two of those people in that band are called Dan, and I just thought it would be really funny to like call myself Dan, because it's such a just like snappy, it's a fun sounding name. It makes me sound more fun than I am. And so I was trying to think of things around Dan, and I was like, ooh, Honest Dan. That's kind of got a bit of a ring to it. Although I feel like I've done this thing to myself, which happened with the previous band, Trouble Cruise. I feel like I stumble when I say in the middle there, like Trouble Cruise. It doesn't
Honest
roll
Dan.
off the tongue very nicely. Honest Dan, also the same.
You're almost selling Honest Dan.
Honest Dan.
But it kind of came up like that, didn't
understand.
it?
Understand.
Like,
Sure.
The name
Understand.
became.
Yeah.
Was it
Do you
because of your
understand?
I do
with the
understand.
band? Honest Dan? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Some obscure country you've never heard of.
It's a giant pun in itself.
Yeah.
Wow.
my artist name is a bit like that. Adsnoggin. It's like Snoggin.
Actually, all up.
Kind of weird.
Actually, everyone's. Yeah, even mine is
Say it again.
actually.
How do you
I'm just PNG.
Oh, that's easy.
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like my initials, but
Less obscure country than Honest Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's.
That kind of sounds
I
like
can't actually-
Istanbul. Is that Istanbul? Does that exist or was it?
Istanbul in Turkey?
Yeah.
In Turkey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Not losing my mind.
And it's like could be a neighbor to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Sorry, a bit of a ramble.
Actually, yeah. Putting it as PNG, just the amount of times I've had to like look at it and go, Papua New Guinea.
Yep. Yep.
I really dug myself a hole there, but
not very good for the search engine optimization on that one.
yeah, I kind of dug myself. Yeah.
Been dug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a character in Fallout 4 called Honest Dan who I had never encountered when I played that game.
Oh.
And then I like named my solo project Honest Dan, and then I like Googled it and I was like,
Shit.
too late now.
But it's like such a meaningful name for you, right?
Yeah.
That you just like you can't separate from
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
No.
So
I
yeah.
mean, to me, I was like, oh, it's kind of like I hear that and I go, he's a genuine guy.
Yep.
You know, I trust this man.
I tell only the truth 100% of the time.
So Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Honest Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Rock. That's a song that I wrote.
Let us in.
Yeah. It's a very weird song. It came about as the this like group of friends that I have from Canberra. We were doing a Secret Santa, but it was an art trade Secret Santa.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And so in the draw, I ended up getting my best friend, Chris, who the song is about, not about Chris Rock, the actor. And I should have cashed in on that meme.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
I was like,
It's too late now.
The moment's gone. And also the moment was gone like 30 minutes after it happened. Like
Yeah,
the internet was on that, and then it became
God.
stale really fast.
so wait, so Chris Rock is an actual, it's another Chris Rock?
No.
Or
So
it's just the name Chris that is the only
It's
thing
the-
that
'cause the-
is
Yeah.
relevant?
The art of it, I was
is
like,
salt. So, which is a rock. So,
Okay.
in
Chris
writing
Rock, Chris Rock.
this song about my best friend,
Yeah.
it ended up being like a platonic love song, which I feel is an unusual style of musical writing.
yeah.
And I was like trying to think of things because I needed to get it done in time to like deliver it as part of this Secret Santa. So I had like a week to do it. And I was writing all these lyrics and random things, and I was just fixated on like how fixated Chris is on salt. He is just obsessed with putting salt on everything. And for his like birthday, I bought him some fancy salts that have like things infused in
Like
them.
olives
Yeah.
and smoked salt.
Yeah, yep.
That's nice.
Does he
And-
use bath salts as well?
Yes, but not that kind. I don't know if he does. I don't know
actually,
if he.
yeah, yeah.
I was
It went
literally
there,
going to buy, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I was thinking about buying like 30 kilos of salt. So I was like, hey, I could really do a salt business.
It keeps really well. Like,
Is-
yeah,
Would you say?
Buying kilos for so cheap.
yeah.
Would you say he's the saltiest person you know?
Oh my God.
In some ways, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But like it was even like his girlfriend really wanted to get a salt lamp at one point, and then she realized that she couldn't get a salt lamp because he would just lick it all day.
What's a salt lamp?
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. What's a salt lamp?
So it's like it's some new
like
age
Himalayan
hippie thing. It's just like a big chunk of salt with like a whore bowl board out of the middle over like a light fixture, and it's meant to attract dust.
Actually, it absorbs moisture. If you
Right, okay.
don't turn a salt lamp on, it will start to grow.
Ooh.
Like
Okay.
it's so surreal. Apparently, they're meant to help with asthma as well or something.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys know about this? Like, Jeremy?
I've been on that
Brandon?
salt lamp game for
Okay.
Yeah,
a time.
Okay.
This is a thing. This has been a thing for like
I'm really
50
surprised.
years.
I imagine
What are
it
you
would be
doing,
over-
Maybe
Pat?
maybe that's why your allergies are so
Yeah,
bad.
man, that's why I wake up with like a blocked nose half the time. I've got an air purifier that does jack all.
Yeah. Get a salt lamp.
Should have got the salt.
Don't
man.
lick it.
Yeah, don't lick it.
Yeah, so I was like trying to think of all these like salt related lyrics, and
puns.
I think that the chorus of that song is quite possibly one of my most like double entendre-y punny songs. Like
Chris Rock, something about this rock.
yeah, so it's
Can't
like
make out the words.
this rock that seasons the pot, keeps it all hot, never goes off. This rock that keeps us on top, finding us lost, never bit frost. Because like salt is meant to like prevent you from getting frostbitten.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh,
This rock covered in dust, because that's what I had
Yeah.
heard salt lamps did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, mine is covered in dust,
yeah.
so I can confirm.
Yeah, covered in dust. Ever it must keep us in trust, because it's like, a rock is, like a rock is like your friendship. Yeah, that's the chorus.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm gonna now that I listen to that song, I'm gonna definitely just be thinking about
salt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah,
so salty.
I love it.
yeah.
Just wait. Has he ever expressed interest in going to the Dead Sea?
No, but I think he would become one of the dead things in that sea if he did, because he would not want to get out.
No. Good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it all kind of just came together after I kind of was just brainstorming all these dumb salt things. And yeah, there was also a reference to this time that he nearly got me evicted from somewhere I was living.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. That's a long one.
Does your friend live in Melbourne?
No.
Got to bring him down.
Yeah. He's too entrenched in his legal career to leave Canberra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he deals with salty people as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
Perhaps that's why he's had to take on so much salt, is to just push back on all of the saltiness.
Wow, this has been the saltiest conversation I've had, like, legitimately about salt.
Yeah.
But as for in terms of your other music, you know, you've got quite a catalog going on.
Yeah.
And where are you headed?
Yeah, so there are 3 singles that I put out, like the 3 most recent ones that are going to be on an EP that I've finally actually submitted to be released after just forgetting about it for a while.
Oh my God. Yay.
Yeah. So yeah, that EP is the Hopeless Romantic EP, and
Like that title?
like that, yeah.
Like that title?
Yeah, it's all of the songs, like, I kind of didn't set out with this intention, but then I realized, like, as I was writing these songs, that they all kind of had these themes about relationships, and I was trying to have, like, it's a very classic thing to write about, but I also feel it is tired in some ways, so I wanted to bring my own spin on it. So a lot of it is like just ruminating on like the ways you feel in like different stages of relationships, and then also when things go bad, I've like written songs that are like as much a criticism of myself as they are of like other people, trying to be very aware in that regard. Like there's a song which is not one of the singles, so you'll have to listen out for it when it's on the EP.
And can we get a rough sort of date?
ETA.
ETA that's going to release?
It's coming out on August 2nd.
August 2nd?
The day after my mum's birthday.
And 3 days before Brandon's birthday.
Exciting. Happy birthday, Brandon, in August.
Yeah.
You just doxed Brandon's birthday.
I lied. That was a lie. We can dox your mum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Mum. No, I don't know.
She doesn't exist on the internet, so she's fine.
That's nice for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what will exist on the internet?
My music?
Your music and this podcast episode.
It will.
In a couple of days' time,
Yeah.
this will release. Are there any... That was the worst segue of time.
come
I'm
on,
so sorry. But,
Judging.
is there any like last words you'd like to...
Whoa. Am I not going to leave this house?
Are there
No.
any, like
What's your last
words
meal?
Wow.
you'd like to say to, I guess, people who've stumbled upon this podcast, for our viewers, but also your your people that have been following your music, to your fans?
Stay in drugs, don't do school. What's that? No, I can't say that. Dave
No.
Grohl, that's Dave Grohl's thing. Be honest to yourself.
They should be your honest fans.
Yeah, be the honest fans for the honest Dan.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Do you? Oh,
Stop it. No.
Okay.
that was really good. I'm going to steal that.
All right.
Do it.
You did half the job.
Yeah,
you did
thank
most
you.
of it, actually.
Good.
But I guess that was... Yeah, so this has been the most...
The saltiest
the saltiest and honest
episode, yeah.
episode that I've yet to understand.
I hope it hasn't been too salty.
No, it hasn't. It's just that segment.
I feel like this has been very pleasant.
I love it.
So,
I mean, as someone who was going to buy 30 kilos of salt,
Yeah.
this has enticed me. So
do it. Follow your dreams. That's what I would say to people.
Follow your dreams. Yes, you can.
Don't do software engineering. Do music instead.
Yeah.
Move to Melbourne, whatever.
Lick salt
Yes,
lamps.
you can. Honest Dan.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's like Bob the Builder now. But yeah, so this has been episode 14 of No Socks, with Honest Dan. I've been your host, Pat, and this has been Katie. I've got to really decide what I want to call you on this episode.
He doesn't even know who I am.
I know who you are.
He doesn't. It's a prank.
But
Sorry.
that has been, as I said, episode 14. If you like this, we'll put a link to Honest Dan's work and his social medias as well. So definitely go check it out after this.
And go check out the live.
Yep, they'll be releasing the day after this releases.
Yeah.
It's going to be very good. I haven't done it yet, but that's the good luck, right? That's how you...
Yeah, definitely.
Manifesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's it. All right. That's a wrap. See ya.
Bye.